Hello there everybody, welcome back to another Lost Ark video. It's Topical Tuesday where we just kind of go on the Reddit and we see what's been popping on the last week or so on the Reddit. I do have some things curated and opened here for us to explore as always, but the main thing that's been happening this week is people losing their mind over the Blooming Mokoko event, and a bunch of different meme posts have been posted. You know, I typically don't look at meme posts on this just to try to keep it, I don't know, relevant to information, but some of these posts are funny, and it's actual good OC on the subreddit, in my opinion. I'm a big fan. Yeah. Anyways, sorry for the late video today as well, you guys. I have been dealing with urgent care stuff. I have a pretty bad ear infection. Not feeling the greatest, but we make do. Us country girls make do. I'm opening Lost Ark, so uh, it's gonna tell me about a seizure warning in a minute here, I think. Anyways,
Photosensitive
there's the seizure
warning.
warning.
If you or anyone in your family have an epileptic condition, consult your physician prior to playing Lost Ark.
Okay, thank you. Now, first thing on the agenda is the weekly update in Behemoth Gift. So this is the little update that we're getting. Nothing too major, but we are getting a little gift package, which is very nice. Basically, TLDR, the servers are going down at 12 a.m. Pacific, so midnight. That is going to be, like, I don't know, 5 hours from me recording this, or uploading this, because I think I'll have this uploaded at 7 Pacific. Hopefully, all fingers crossed. This doesn't come out at 7 Pacific, I'm sorry, I failed you all again. But 5 hours from then will be when the server goes down. So basically what's going on here is they're like, yeah, Behemoth kind of hard, it's stronger than we wanted it to be, TLDR, or stronger than people think. Newer 1620 characters are struggling with damage contribution, which is very true. While Behemoth is clearable with a party of 1620s, which again, I don't think anybody was ever in disagreement of, because it is definitely clearable in 1620s, it's just, you need to have the systems prior, and having the systems done prior is kind of difficult. And they basically were like, they looked into tweaking the balance, i.e. nerfing the HP or something, but they're not going to do that because of Tier 4 coming on October 9th, which again I think is fair enough. It's going to be a decent amount of power just for free. And this is why they're doing the gift. So they say, we'd rather you feel powered up with lasting effects, such as help progressing through Transcendence. We're getting 30 armor tickets, 10 weapon tickets, and 3 whole masterwork herbs, masterwork herb stakes. Poggers! I have like 50 of these on my Soul Fist, because I claim the fever time on my Soul Fist, because it's the only character I give a shit about, and Soul Fist can't use these, because, I don't know if you know this, but Soul Fist doesn't really have a secondary resource that is affected by that. Anyways, armor tickets and weapon tickets are fire. And it's good to see that they've actually acknowledged the fact that, I mean, unless you're like a actual properly geared like 1620, Behemoth probably is too hard, or a character that isn't level 7 Transcendence, 40 set, like probably level 8, 9 gems, you know what I mean? Yeah, see, I didn't even read this. I did not pre-read this, but I'm so glad AGS is acknowledging they're listening to feedback. This is good. I like this. This is very good. Especially the turnaround time on the feedback that they're listening to. Behemoth came out, what, 2 weeks ago, and they're already starting to talk about things related to it, which is good. They have to be trolling with those 3 herb stakes, that's what I'm saying. For the people that had 1620s with low Transcendence, was it because you lacked armor tickets? I assumed it was lack of dark fires. I don't know about everyone else's situation, but at least for my situation, my 1620s all had just enough dark fires to get chest and armor. Chest and pants to level 7. So... And I'm not somebody that bought boxes on them, and they're also 1620, and I also didn't run Theamine on all of them every single week, because Theamine is not a raid I enjoy too much. But I definitely think a lot of people have a gold bottleneck, so the tickets are really good. And even if you're not bottlenecked by gold, the tickets just aren't bad at all, at least right now. You can definitely make the argument that tickets will be less useful when, I mean, your Transcendence is done on, like, all of your characters, like, fully done. But until your Transcendence is fully done, those tickets are such a good value. The weapon tickets especially. KR Balance Patch also just dropped 30 minutes ago as of me recording this. I'm not going to go over this too closely, but I will scroll through it for you guys, and I will link this in the description if I remember to. Not too much gets changed. It seems like just minor buffs to classes that they deem needed, I guess. I'm not too sure. I don't follow it too closely, but I do know there's no playstyle changes. It's just like buffs. You can kind of see it here. I'm just going to kind of scroll through it, like I said. If you want to pause, you can, or you can just click on in the description, read this yourself. Devil Hunter, Blaster, Hawkeye, Gunslinger, Arcana, Summoner, Sorceress, Blade, Demonic, Ripper, Soul Eater, and a good old Weatherman. Looks like Weatherman got a nice little buff there on agility, whatever the fuck that is. Good old Weatherman. Slayer still dead. 3% damage buff. Slayer kept the red dust, but apparently the balance patch was just a numbers adjustment patch. SG told Kara not to expect playstyle change for this round, so there's still hope that Mayhem and Slayer will get changed at some point, but we will see. Next up on the list is the LA player base keeps shrinking. It's concerning that despite solo raids, juiced events, and the upcoming release of T4, there are fewer and fewer players. Do you think AGS has done enough? If you could change one thing about this game, what would it be? Yikes. That's worse than I had thought. Before I go and read in the comments, I think I'll take this post at face value. Do I think AGS has done enough? No, of course not. Obviously not. It's only recently that it really feels like they've started to give a shit. And I think you can definitely point at the new director for that. I'm just not sure how true that might be. I mean, I'm totally okay with giving the new director all the credit, but again, I'm not sure. But obviously, I don't think AGS has done enough. And if I could change one thing about the game, what would it be? I don't know. That's a really tough question. Changing one thing about the game just isn't enough to make a big enough impact. I would definitely have to change multiple things, or I would want to change multiple things. I think... Yeah, I mean, what can I even say? Like, if I could change one thing... I think if it had to be one thing, I would probably change the card system. Or how you acquire cards. Because the card system is a massive barrier to entry for newer players, and it's not something you can reasonably farm. Yeah, you can do card runs, but that's not reasonably farm. You know what I mean? Talking about making meaningful progress towards things every week. The second thing that I really wanted to change as my answer would be things like Elixir's Transcendence Advanced Honing, right? Because as these systems keep getting added over and over, like the new vertical systems, the older vertical systems become less talked about, less interacted with, less dealt with. You run the dungeon to interact with the systems less. It becomes harder to interface with these systems, but it's still required to do it. Because elixirs give like 20% damage, Transcendence gives like 20% damage, Advanced Honing gives you 20 item levels, stuff like this. And with the more systems that keep stacking up, again, the harder it is going to be for a newer player. Obviously, that's not me changing one thing, but that is another thing that I see as a really, really, really big issue. Too little, way too late. Kind of agree. Gatekeeping still insane due to the most try-hard player base having 6 characters that play 20-40 hours a week. You don't have a 10 clear title by week 3. You're just sitting through lobby sim. Will gradually play less and less because of it. Most of the game's problems have only band-aid fixes so far, and they haven't even provided fundamental solutions to them once and for all. Yeah. I think... this wouldn't feel so bad if the game had more players in general, right? Because as it is right now, Lost Ark is a very niche game. It really is. It's a very niche game that only the most dedicated people have really stuck to. And it becomes harder and harder to kind of play at a casual level or a more casual level as time goes on, because there's less and less players that keep sticking around. So it kind of perpetuates the cycle of itself. It's not impossible to play the game, it just gets harder. And at some point, each person individually has their own, like, limit, right? And whenever a person hits their limit for it becoming too tedious or too hard or too annoying to play the game, they just stop playing. And then it just keeps getting worse and worse, you know what I mean? So I don't know. The game is definitely still playable right now, but in a year, who knows? In 2 years, who knows? Make your own lobby is the Lost Ark equivalent to thoughts and prayers. I don't know how true this is, in my opinion, but I just find it really funny. Because make your own lobby is good advice, however, that only goes so far. And I think kind of what I was talking about here is the longer the game goes on, the less people play, etc., etc. It just becomes harder to play the game. People are quitting the game, not coming back to the game for reasons that AGS can't fix. Thus, this is the game SG has designed, and if it wasn't clear before, it should be clear with Tier 4 that Smilegate have no intent on changing the design enough for Western players to come back to. Yeah, I also think that's very, very true. Like, the fundamental problems that I was kind of mentioning, it's not really an Amazon problem, it's a game design problem. Can Amazon do a westernized version well enough? Who knows? Can they do it at all? Who knows? I think it would have to be two actual separate, like, versions of the game, right? Like, yes, the skeleton of the game would be the same between Korea and, like, the West, but there would have to be, like, big differences between the two for it to really thrive here, I think. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm always interested in seeing your guys' opinion, hearing your guys' opinion on stuff. In a game where the RNG is shit, the vertical system is bad, the raids that came out a year ago are still relevant to progress on a character. If you don't have the 10 times after 2 weeks, you're cut off from every raid. I'm amazed that it is still played, and I'm one of the many assholes that keep playing with 6PG. 6PG 1620, because honestly, there's no alternative out there. After playing over 15 years of WoW, I'm not going to go back. I hope they fix it because we are close to total collapse. Bum bum. I mean, I definitely understand the sentiment. I don't agree with all of it, but you know, definitely a bit of hyperbole, definitely a bit of over-exaggeration. I don't think the game is close to total collapse. I think it's reasonable to be worried about the trajectory that the game is currently on, and I think we might be past the point of, like, a real resurgence without, like, a massive, like, Lost Ark 2 or Lost Ark expansion, like, for real kind of patch. But to say the game is close to total collapse, I think, is a bit of an overstatement. Excuse me, sorry, I got a little message. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. And then, last but not least, I just wanted to do a little fun post. This event has broken this community mentally. Who would have thought a trip to an event for 3 minutes each day, returning home with nothing but a bunch of silver, would send you guys this crazy? Motherfuckers really be role-playing fake girlfriends, dogs, cats, mokokos themselves. I hope you come back from this and wishing you all a speedy recovery. Prayer hands, prayer hands, prayer hands. I do think it's a bit ridiculous how upset people are getting over it. Like, I have a friend who has gotten, like, 2 or 3 100k jackpots. I have gotten nothing, but it's okay. It happens, man. RNG is RNG. It averages out eventually. You just have to try to play the mental game. Do I think the event could have been done better? For sure. But for what it is, I think it's a fun enough event. And it doesn't take too much input to, you know, just run around and have a little bit of fun. None of this would have happened if they added the 5, 10, 20, 50k drops. Yeah, I'm almost positive this is what they did before, because I do remember getting, like, not jackpots, but I do remember getting, like, a couple thousands worth of gold sometimes from a mokoko seed. And it seems weird that since they changed the event to be bound, they didn't add, like, more tiers, because it's not an increased rate, man. Like, the jackpot is still almost... I would say it's probably the exact same as last year, or last time this event ran. The gold is just bound now, which is good, but they didn't do anything to make it better. I don't know. Anyways, I'll stop yapping. Thanks for hanging out, you guys, and again, sorry for the late video. My little ear is trying his best. I'm hopeful that the ear infection will clear up soon, because my god, do I feel not so good. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's video if you want to watch that one. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week for another one of these. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you like the shit that I make. I make stuff that I like, and I try to put something out every day. Consider becoming a member. All that good stuff. Thank you to my members. It's Biscuits, Inder, Diz, Remix My Life. I'm Nufu and Blitzels. You guys are the best. I love you all. Hearts. Mwah. Bye.